And so fear, there's two things that fear causes us to do. I know what they are? Two things when you're afraid that people do. Worry, right? That's good.
Run away.
Either run away, that's one thing, or what?
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight, right? You're either gonna stand and be afraid, or you're gonna run. Or you can stand, or you can fight. Even though you're afraid, you say, "I'm not gonna let this fear keep me from doing it." If you run away, you lose. If you cower in fear, even though you didn't run, your knees are knocking, you lose. But if you fight, if you decide, I'm not going to let this fear keep me from whatever it is that God's trying to do in my life. As Sister Ward mentioned, she's trying to repent, but the devil's like, you can't do it, you can't do it. Yes, you can. If she would have ran out the door without making that commitment, she probably would have went back. But she fought, she determined, she leaned on God, and so here she is. Amen. And so I'm thankful. So don't run away. You're gonna have fears. Don't run. Don't cower. Just fight. Entitled, Don't Give Up.
Thank you. I'm coming! Ready? Hey, is that cool? Awesome. I want to talk about like when I started, going to school and stuff, a lot of people put me down, you know what I mean? Like, people tease each other. I mean, people come up and say, hey, you're fat, 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 you gotta lose some weight, and you go home, and you look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm fat, right? And so many people tease each other. Oh, you're too short, you're too tall, you look whatever. Different hair and all that, it doesn't matter. See, the thing is, when you're in school, when you're growing up in life, it actually sort of matters to people how you look. And then it matters to you because it matters to others. Why? Why does it matter how you look? Because if they don't like you, then who will? If they don't accept you, then who will? And the fear that we have is that we're going to be alone. That we're not good enough. And we have to change ourselves. And so many people put me down and say, Nick, you look too weird and no one's really offended. You can't do this and you can't do that. And I couldn't change anything. It's not like just fixing my hair one day and everything's fine. It's not like, just whatever. I couldn't change my circumstance. I couldn't just one day wake up and say, hey, give me arms and legs. I need arms and legs. You know what I mean? Like, I went to a bodybuilder, so can you make me some arms and legs? No joking. Bodybuilder, you get it? Right? So this is the thing. I go up to people, can you give me a hand? Just joking. But it was so hard because people put me down. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure. That I'd never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept. And it was so hard, man. I thought to myself, I can't go on the soccer field like everybody else, and I can't ride my bike, and I can't skateboard, and all these sort of things. And I started getting depressed. I thought, what kind of purpose do I have to live? I mean, are you just here to live to die? I mean, is there not a purpose for me? Is there not a purpose in life? And I had questions and no answers. And I asked my mum and dad, why did this happen? I asked doctors, why did this happen? And they don't know. There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you're going to live with. The choice that we have, though, is either to give up or keep on going. I want to ask you, what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you going to believe people when they say that you're a failure and no one really likes you, no one really cares about you? And it's not really to say that, hey, you need someone to come up and say, hey, really, I like you, I care about you. No, it's not that, but it's the fact that people put you down. People don't even look you in the eye. People ask you how you are, and you say fine, but you're not fine, and they'll never know that. I tell you, life is interesting. Life's a journey. See this phone here? Let's say that I want to go to the phone, right? And I start from over here. Now, to get to the phone, it's not like I'm going to start meditating and going, right? and float across the air, right? It's not gonna work. It's not like I'm gonna go hum and woo, you know, it's not gonna work. So I have to take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. You can only take one step at a time. I don't care how big your step is, it's only one step at a time. You can't do 2 steps in one. You understand? So it's like one step at a time. And you take steps in this direction, you take steps in that direction. Sort of get lost along the way, and sometimes you fall down. Now to illustrate my point, I'm going to jump off the table, do a back twist, and land on the floor. Okay? Is that cool? Are you ready? Oh, there's a clock there. Okay, can you move the clock for a second, please? Beautiful, beautiful. All right. You ready? So, are you guys ready? Just let me know when you're ready. You ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? Just put the clock back there. If I did that, I'll break my arm or something. You know what I mean? But honestly, along the way, you might fall down like this. Ready? Hello! Right? So what do you do when you fall down? Get back up. Everybody knows to get back up, because if I start walking, I'm not going to get anywhere. But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. You sort of put a mask on your face when you come to school and pretend that everything's okay when it's not, and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you and you don't have to impress anybody, and you're yourself. And fear comes in. You know the fear that you have as soon as you walk into the doors of your house. Maybe there's a broken home. Maybe you have doubt in your life. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future, and it scares you. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you, what people say about you. Just that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope? Because I tell you, I'm down here, face down, and I have no arms, no legs. It should be impossible for me to get back up. I mean, you go home and tie the legs and arms of your brothers and sisters and like push them down and see how long it's going to take them to get back up. You know what I mean? You know, you can tell them that you'll see them tomorrow. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. It should be impossible for me to get back up, but it's not. You see, I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again, and again, and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up. Does that make sense?
Amen.
And it's not the end
That's right.
until you've given up.
Come on.
And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have another chance to get back up.
Amen. That's right.
There's still hope.
There's still.
I'm not here today to tell you that I understand your pain. I don't know how it feels to be abused. I don't know how it feels to feel, quote, fat and you've got an eating disorder. I don't know how it feels to have a broken home. I don't know how it feels. But I know how it feels to have a broken heart. And I know how it feels to be alone. And I want you to know that I found my strength in Jesus Christ, and you're going to find your strength in whatever you find it in. But I just want you to know that it's not the end.
That's right.
It matters how you're going to finish.
Amen.
Are you going to finish strong? And you will find that strength to get back up like this.
Wow. Can you imagine? You know, and we think we have it bad sometimes. We think we have it rough. And it's not that we don't, or we do. It's not to take away from anything that's going on in our life. But this man was born with no arms and no legs. so can you imagine the struggle that he had? And this is just a clip of what he talked about. He talked about when he was about 8 years old. I don't remember if it was this one because I watched a couple of them, how he was, he was really depressed and things were going on. But, he found his hope, as he said, in Jesus, and he found purpose in his life. How many know that no matter what we're going through, Jesus has a purpose for your life? He has a reason. And the things that we go through, just like fear is a fight or flight kind of a thing, things that go on in our life that seem bad, that don't seem good, can either crush us, cause us to crumble, or it can make us stronger. And so God can use things in our life that doesn't seem good at the time to build us up and to give us character and strength, and understand that we need, as Sister Boyd mentioned earlier, we need to rely on Him, not on ourselves. But He knows. He knows exactly who you are. He knows exactly where you are. He knows exactly what you're going through. And it's His desire that we never, ever give up. In Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Before we were born, He had His hand on us and His plan for our life. Do we believe that? Isn't that what the Word says? Isn't that awesome, though? And so, no matter what we're going through right now, He's here. He's there. He's watching. He wants to help you through any struggles that you're facing. Because what happens when you go through struggles and you come out the other side, you're stronger. Amen. You develop more character, and you develop more of a dependence on Him. We want to be independent, especially as we're growing up. I'm older now, getting older all the time. But I remember those times when I thought I was the man. I was only a teenager, still getting fed and clothed and housed, and everything that I owned came from my parents. And, they bought everything, but yet I was the man. And I told my mother to get out of my room one day. Big mistake. Won't go into that one. But I wasn't. I couldn't take care of myself. And so, but I had to rely on Him. He wants us to rely on Him. Even though we become independent as adults, and you get a job, you can get a house, and whatever, all that stuff, but we still need to be dependent on Him, because everything we have and everything we are comes from Him and the plan that He made for us in the womb. Go ahead, Isaiah 44. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom, what's it say? I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. He knows who we are, where we are, and what we're going through. He is trying to make something beautiful out of our life. Last scripture, and then we're going to talk a little more. Ephesians 2:10. For we are His workmanship. I know what that means. What's workmanship? Anybody? Huh? His masterpiece. If you draw a picture or you make something, that's your workmanship. It's your masterpiece. And so we are His masterpiece, His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. When I say good works, God hath before ordained that we should walk in them, in those good works. And so, from the beginning, go and sin no more. The worship, I am not a slave to sin anymore. To hearing Nick, I can't say his last name, his testimony, seeing what he's gone through and conquering, and the encouragement that he had, never give up, there's always hope. And then reading the scriptures, he knew us, he formed us from the womb, he has a plan for our life, we're his masterpiece. We just need to allow him to continue to work in our life and never, ever give up. He created us in good works, and so the go and sin no more, when we do our best and be determined. As Sister Roy mentioned in her testimony, she was determined. Be determined. Not that we're going to be perfect, but be determined. And he'll help us through. So my encouragement, never, ever give up.
And just watching that guy, and we look at him, and his testimony is awesome. Because even looking at him in our natural mind, we will say, how is that a masterpiece that God created? He sees himself as a masterpiece, a workmanship that God created. So who are we to see any less? We see him and we pity him maybe. We know his life was hard. But what we should be seeing, and stop, not focus on him or why shouldn't he be that way, but we should look at his life and see, wow, if he can do what he's doing with his life, what excuse do I have?
Right.
That's what we need to be focusing on. It seems like our humanity always wants to focus on other things rather than the points that we should be pulling out in life. There's lessons all around us every day, through the day, several times through the day. There's lessons that we could be pulling out in life if we would look at it that way, to see what can I gain, what can I glean from this, not a selfish gain, but a spiritual gain. How can I grow from this situation? How can I look at this circumstance and find a positive that I can build on, so that way I can grow in my walk, in my relationship with God? It had to be hard for him to get back up. He had to do it in segments, and he had to take his time. If he would have rushed, he's probably done it many times before. He fell back over. But if you take your time and just find your stand and grow a little at a time, you will find that you too can get back up.
Amen.
Okay, we can pray.
Anybody have anything? Before we go, we got a few minutes. What did that speak to you? Anything that happened today?
I think me looking at that guy, it made me stronger.
Right?
Because, the stuff that I go through, it's not, it's not nothing that I should say, this ain't nothing. But I still complained about it. But when I looked at him, it gave me more strength
Good.
to say, wow, look at this man here with no leg, no arm, and he's still living for God.
It's good.
I don't know how could I, if I would have been in that situation, I'll tell you the truth, I don't know how could I take, don't know. But that, by me seeing that, it did, spoke to my heart.
Good. Amen. Amen. Yeah, we don't know, but we can. He didn't know when he was a child. He didn't know. It had to grow into that, and he allowed God to work on it. But yeah,
Amen.
seeing that, and it gives us hope, doesn't it? And encouragement. Yes, Sister Sandy.
Watching him, he came in Liberia when I was probably still young.
Oh, you've heard of him.
And when we heard he was coming, everybody wanted to go and see how a man without arm and legs is making it. To me, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was still a little girl. complain anymore because it's like, a situation seems impossible, but we have everything.
Yeah.
And yet we still like Brother Apostle said, we still complain.
Right.
Oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that.
We always hear, oh, there's always people worse off, and other people are, and so it's true, but when you see it,
When you,
it really hits home, doesn't it? It's
Yes.
really true, that if he can do what he's doing
Yes.
with this, in the situation that he's in, there's no excuse
Yes.
That's right.
for us not to serve God and not give up, to keep trying, keep fighting.
And he took his weakness and made it a strength,
Yes.
not only for himself, but
Right.
for
Yes.
so many
Yeah,
other
yeah,
lives.
yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do.
Awesome.
And it's, I was watching something the other day, it was a movie of some sort, and it was a Christian movie. I think it's called Gabriel or something like that, and he was an angel that came to help the town. And there was a kid with Down syndrome, and the kid with Down syndrome recognized that he was an angel and the way he was just speaking. And it had to be that his circumstance, the kid with Down syndrome, he was sensible to what was going on. And I tie that into it now, and, you know, sometimes people like that go through things, and they overcome them, not just for themselves, but to touch others,
That's
Right.
and
right.
to remind others,
Amen.
if I can do it, that I'm in this condition,
That's right.
you can do it too. If you
Amen.
just, you know, allow, yourself to be sensible, you can
Sensitive.
get through, sensitive, you can, overcome,
Right.
and you can,
Amen.
you know, do it.
Nothing's impossible.
Amen, amen. And it's a beautiful thing when you do it, not just for yourself, but to touch others' lives.
Glorify God.
It makes it the more powerful, you know, even
Right.
more powerful.
Right. Thank you, Jesus.
And so, just think about it, if we remember the man who was healed at the gate with Peter and John, when they was going to the temple, the people were asking, I think it was one of the ones that Jesus healed, but the people were asking, why was he like that? You know, did he sin? I guess it was earlier on, because Jesus was there, and they were asking him, why was this person like that? Why was he lame? Did his mother and father sin? And he said, no, so that Jesus could be glorified, you know, so that he could be glorified. And so, you know, he took his life, and had he stayed in the depression, you know, then it would have been, who knows, God might not have received the glory, because he would have lived in depression, and who knows what would have happened. But he fought it, overcame that, found his hope and trust in Jesus, and now he's not only stronger in himself, but like she said, he's blessing others and helping others. Amen. Okay, anybody else? Anything?
We want to say happy belated birthday to
Oh, thank
we
you.
all, on behalf of the church.
Oh,
Want to say happy belated birthday, and we
thank
thank you
you.
for all you do for
thank
us.
you, appreciate
We
it.
love you.
Thank
To
you.
you. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pastor. Happy birthday to you. And we have a cake at the back.
Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do all.
Surprise.
Surprise!
Thank you. I forgot to do offering. Thank you, God.
Sonic and Panera, woo-hoo. Oh, this is nice. That's nice. I love you all very much, I
Oh,
appreciate it, I do. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
That was very thoughtful, we appreciate it.
Yes.
You want to go ahead and get the,
Oh, man.
we can meet back
Yeah,
there,
please.
I'm turning everything off.
Thank you, that's so sweet.
I guess you're about my age, huh? Or younger, you're probably younger than me.
54.
54,
Huh? My age,
54.
same age.
You know, hold on, let
When
me
is
pop
your
up.
birthday?
December 1st.
Yeah.